So Jojo Siwa has been exposed, which is not something that I thought I would be seeing. Last thing I saw of Jojo Siwa is everybody was celebrating her as a gay icon. Not that this takes anything away from that, I guess. That's not really relevant. But that is like the only thing I've seen of Jojo Siwa. I don't follow Jojo Siwa closely. Do I look like somebody who does? Maybe don't. Actually, I don't want to know. Don't answer that. But there is an article that the Rolling Stone did, and it seems to be pretty damning. It's called Jojo Siwa Promised Them Pop Stardom. They say they were thrown in the trash. Now, that's pretty harsh. That's pretty crazy. And if you've ever watched the show that Jojo Siwa grew up on, that she got famous for doing, it's not really a surprise that the mum is involved and that it's bad. I mean, you literally Google Dance Mums with Jojo Siwa on it and you get Dance Mums Jojo Siwa rude moments. So that's the type of TV show they were on. We'll play some clips. It was a weird show. It's one of the weirdest shows I've ever seen.
I wish I could do a tap solo because I'm what? She's really good at tap. I'm really advanced. Really? Yeah. I'm a tapper.
That's the first clip. That's Jojo Siwa not being very nice. I mean, why are people filming children who are that young and putting them on TV? Surely that's not good. But the mums put them on and then they get to be famous in the show because they teach them to dance. They're managing their kids and trying to make them famous. And that is what Jojo Siwa's mum was apparently doing in this article. And apparently, she was really not nice to some people. Oh, by the way, before we start this, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. You might not have been, or you might have been unsubscribed. That happens. It's not cool. And maybe turn notifications on. You don't want to miss a video. Do you? You don't want to miss out on this? I don't want you to miss out on it. Please watch. The article opens with Leah Sanderson saying that she always wanted to dance, but it was never going to be easy for her. Sanderson, 16, was born with spina bifida, congenital birth defect in which the spinal cord fails to form properly. She spent her early years in and out of the hospital, undergoing dozens of surgeries. She still regularly struggles with pain and bladder infections, and since she was 5, she used a catheter to go to the bathroom. The school nurse was my best friend growing up, she says. She then ended up taking dance classes. In 2013, she became a star and then ended up appearing on a Netflix show called Dancing Queen and competing. And then when she was 14, Johnson took her aside and told her that he had submitted her to audition for the upcoming reality TV competition Siwa's Dance Pop Revolution. So this is where the Siwas come in. And it's about to go downhill from here. Number one, why are there so many shows here that are just based on like making kids dance? I watch Dance Mums and the way that they push those kids is frankly child abuse. It's horrific. I don't know if stuff has got better in the years since. I don't know if shows like that now, if they exist, if maybe there's more stuff in place, but they don't really protect children a lot. They tend to just shout at them.
Do you like feel bad like that you didn't get to see my solo?
No. You are creating a monster.
Saying that about a kid who is in the room is mental. That your child is a monster. That's going to be good for them. They're dancing and she's 8 years old. That's mental. Siwa and her mother, Jesselyn, but that's not even a real name, were putting together a pop group. Jesus Christ. Okay. God help anybody who was a part of that. Well, that's what the article was about. Clearly, it didn't help. It went horribly wrong. The band XOMG Pop would be positioned as the next big girl group. With a name like that? No. Bound for the charts, a viable competitor to bands like Kids Bop. That is the goal, man. I want to be a competitor to Kids Bop. Said nobody ever. Sanderson was thrilled. She was a huge fan of JoJo, having watched her breakthrough turn on the TV franchise, Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition, and then Dance Mums. Yeah, if you watch Dance Mums and when I want to be in that scenario, then you also have a problem. You do not want to be in that scenario. It looked horrific. Looked terrible. Yeah, JoJo became famous, to be fair, as it says here. She created a fan name called the Siwanators. Why does everybody come up with a name like that? Like, imagine if I called you the ImAllexxinators. It's I can't even come up with a shittier one than that because it's bad enough as it is. That's why we're the ImAllexx army. Hashtag. People don't do that anymore. I'm 25. In 2021, Siwa came out as queer, and the now 20-year-old has since become a prominent Gen Z LGBTQ activist and social media influencer. Okay, with 45.5 million followers on TikTok. That's not really relevant. We don't really care about that, so we can just skip that. It's basically setting up that this girl was a long-time fan of Jojo Siwa's. She loved Jojo Siwa. and she watched her for years and clearly saw her as like an icon, which a lot of people do. She's got a lot of fans and they love her. Sanderson's mother, Angie, had some reservations because Leah was a minor and she would have to leave the other 3 older kids behind in Texas to accompany Leah to Los Angeles. She'd also had to shut down the daycare center she owned, but she and her husband Cody talked it over and decided that it was too good. So here you go. Here's the group. Jesus Christ, that is certainly an aesthetic choice. I mean, not saying that I've had great ones across the years. We've resorted just to black t-shirts now. We've sucked all the personality out of the channel as I've got older. I actually saw a TikTok comment the other day saying, I miss when Alex had terrible style. And it's like, no, you don't. Could you imagine if I dressed like that now? I wouldn't be allowed outside of my house. They'd lock me up. And this is where we get into the abuse of the children. The Siwas subjected the children to grueling rehearsals, sometimes forgoing school breaks with meager compensation. They also alleged Sanderson was forced to work under intense physical duress. This is somebody who's got a disability. You know, she had spinal cord surgery. In one instance, just days before the surgery, they allege Leah started bleeding through her belly button during rehearsal for a performance. This is horrific. And rather than encourage her to take a break, they told her to put a pad on it so it wouldn't leak into the costume. Jesus Christ, these people are awful, and the treatment of young people is horrific. And you saw it in those TV shows, and you saw what the mum was willing to put her own daughter through, so you can only imagine what she put other kids through to make some shitty pop band at the expense of kids believing that their dreams might come true. It's horrific. It's actually terrible. They allege that Jesselyn was overly cruel to their young charges, calling them names, and in one instance shaming them for having a disability. The contestant who was the target of the alleged verbal abuse did not return the request for comment. JoJo, meanwhile, could also be nasty and domineering, according to sources, a sharp contrast from her upbeat on-screen persona. Well, anybody who goes around, and I've always said this, going, hello, hibbity-hibbity-do, it's me, I'm so happy and everything's great, here's Colleen Ballinger and my collab and Shane Dawson, they're probably a psychopath behind closed doors. I'd assume. If I hazard a guess, I'd be worried about them. If I meet an influencer who's like, all right, yeah, nice to meet you, man, how you doing? I'm like, okay, I don't trust you yet, but you might be okay. But when I meet somebody who's like, everything's great and I love you and it's fantastic and we're best friends, I'm like, this is going to go horribly wrong, isn't it? This is going to be terrible. You're scary. You're a scary person. Apparently, they encouraged them to cry on camera by berating them so that they could get like footage for the show, I guess because it did so well for dance mums. Wow. That is mental to just take kids and be like, all right, so this show, frankly, is pretty fucking boring. So you're shit at singing and you have a disability. One of you cry quickly, you'll get airtime. That is how most TV was made, to be fair, for the last 20 years. And that is why we only watch those videos on my ImAllexx YouTube channel. And we just watch terrible TV shows. Maybe I need to watch this one. Maybe I need to fucking take a look into this show. If you guys want to see that, leave a like and I'll watch it. I'll find the show and I will do a video on it on one of my channels. I will make that happen. Leah and I were in a dark place for months and months, and I don't think we were healthy enough to speak about. Now that we've had time to recover and heal from it, we're in a place where we're ready to share and tell people about everything. So there's actually some clips of the show on here. I guess we can watch them. Let's see how terrible this thing actually was. I'm sure it's horrific.
Wow.
Those kids are like 7 and 8. What? And this is how they were treating them. This is insane. This is actually completely absurd.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Leah is allergic to latex, and I don't know if they knew to get her latex-free eyelash glue. I do not think it's the latex-free kind.
No.
Oh, so this is the mum. This is the mum who we're reading the article about, and the daughter, because she's allergic to the glue. Did you see how everybody around just like didn't help? Like, I mean, I know it's reality TV and it's probably edited weird, but they just like could not care less.
I should have known if your kid needs something special, then you should probably always have it with you just in case.
You guys, we're walking in 15 minutes.
Oh, so they're gonna like still obviously have to do the performance when the mum is trying to get the eyelash glue. I mean, it's reality TV, so it's hard to tell. Is it actually, like, they've cut it together weird, probably. That's the thing, when I watch these, I can never tell, like, if they've cut it together properly. Like, this maybe happened 7 hours before, and now they make it seem like there's a big rush, so there's, like, tension, and it actually makes the show seem like it's interesting, because it's not.
Guys, we got a performance in like 10 minutes. If you don't need to be in here, get out. If you're in here, slap it on quick.
See, that's interesting, because she knows that the mum is out to like get the eyelash glue, but they're basically being like, hey, if you want to be in the performance, get everything on now. If not, get out. But they know that they've got somebody with a disability, and they're just like putting this intense pressure on them. And it's crazy because you look at the kids in this and they are so young. It's like mad that this show is allowed, like TV shows like this actually exist. I've never understood how stuff like this can actually be made. I don't get it. I don't know if you guys agree. It blows my mind.
I'm back. What did I miss? What am I not doing? I got it. It's that kind, right?
Why does Jojo Siwa look like she's annoyed that they haven't got the right eyelash glue? You'd think maybe you would know if you had somebody in your troupe who had a disability and you would also account for them. I know it's the mum's responsibility as well, but you'd think that, you know, the production crew, it's their responsibility to keep the children safe. Okay, so you think more than one person would know about this? Maybe there'd be somebody on set who knows about this, because I'm pretty sure in most TV shows you're going to have somebody who actually looks after that stuff. I guess the mum's there, but it's something that everybody else should be looking after as well. You know, the people in charge of the show, like the production. That is like a bare minimum on set. And I've not been on set many times, but I've been on a few times, and they always ask you like everything really. You know, they're like, hey, what do you need? What can we help you with? And there's somebody like always there trying to help you. And I've been very lucky to work on sets like that, but I'm also an adult. So it's crazy that they're not doing that for kids. That is mad.
I'm already ready.
Okay.
I'm not stealing your stuff, I promise.
So then basically what happened was Jojo Siwa, I guess, sacked her, which is crazy. Siwa denied the allegations via their legal counsel, saying the allegations are 100% provably false. Voluminous and irrefutable evidence will tell you all you need to know that a disgruntled mummager's own abusive behaviour caused for her daughter to be asked not to return to the group. You watch these shows and all the mummagers, that's a crazy name by the way, they're all abusive. I mean, if you have to call your mum a mummager, something's gone wrong. Terribly, Jessie Siwa was protecting the staff, the other girls and their families, which she will continue to do unapologetically. They did not respond to allegations unrelated to the Sandersons or questions regarding why so many former members of the group had left. So loads of people have left. Well, because the show, obviously, if it's anything like Dance Moms, is probably so terrible to the kids. Who would have guessed? Not me. Not me, not you guys at home, not me and not you. None of us. We wouldn't have guessed that. What? Mummager show? Show where they call people mummagers being bad for the kids? What? Did you know that? Did you know that, mate? Did you know that? Tahoe Tower of Fire, whose mask isn't on. Let's put you over there. I didn't know that. The biggest crime is that they actually released music called Party Like a Pop Star, Candy Hearts and Disco Believer. Like, who is listening to that apart from like 4-year-old children and mums who like want to make their kids famous? It's attracted a lot of scrutiny because they don't like keep members on for very long. 4 of the original members, winners of the competition, left under obscure circumstances. It's really weird because this channel, by the way, is like massive. Like, look at this. It's got like 12 million subscribers. It's sort of dead, I guess, now I've looked at it. Jojo Siwa's songs have like hundreds of millions of views. Oh no, look who it is. Keep her away from the children, please.
There's a child in my house. Who let you in? You.
Classic Colleen. Who let this child in my house? You invited them over, Colleen. You're always inviting them over, remember? We've seen the DM. You weirdo.
Hey everyone, it's JoJo.
I can't even watch that. I'm clicking it off. I want to watch the We're on Roblox podcast number 9. That's what I want to bloody well watch. Get me watching that.
XOMG, we're making history. We superstars and together we're living the dream.
Fuck me, that's like cultish. Also, if you had epilepsy and they put you in that room, you would die instantly. You'd have a full fit. They pull you out and you'd be eviscerated. Each of the mothers of the current band sent statements to Rolling Stone via representative, just basically saying, oh yeah, she's taking care of the girls on her own. JoJo's played an older sister role and a supportive member to the girls. But the one disabled member basically has had the worst experience ever. And I know that people get disgruntled when they leave something, but I also believe that if you've ever seen these shows and you've ever read anything about this stuff, that it's highly likely that most of the mums are forcing their kids through so they could pay the bills and so they could use the kids as a way to make money. I mean, they're calling themselves mummagers. They are not reliable, and that's so sad because they are meant to be the one like person in the world that you can just trust with everything, but not in this world, not in America and Jojo Siwa's dance group. It's not. And there's a big thing here that says there is nothing that protects kids with online content. Like, there's laws for TV, but for online content, there's nothing that protects them along these lines in terms of like the amount of time they could work and stuff along those lines, like child exploitation. It's just not reached the internet. Yeah, and I have always had a massive problem with kids channels, family channels, anything along those lines, because it is this weird, like, murky water where people who are on those aren't being protected. And that's mental, because your parents are going to protect you. But people have realized that they can make money off of their kids from a young age by putting them on these TV shows, YouTube channels now, and they're doing it, and it's sickening. But, you know, any of these reality TV shows, they make me feel sick anyway. Like, there's always something weird about them going on. I've never been a fan. Like, there's something nefarious about all of them. Like, they just feel wrong to me, okay? And the last thing is that Angie said, do your research. She says, don't assume you know someone because of their public persona. You're a mum, and the way that you hurt these kids is not okay. And yeah, that's undeniably true. It's not okay. And she put her own kid through insane television and work schedule. So how can you trust somebody who would do that to their own child? You think you're gonna be able to handle my mum? I thought the same thing when I was 9, and look where I am now, so it may have worked, says Jojo Siwa. Basically being like, yeah, she put me through hell, but I'm a millionaire and I'm famous now, and it worked for me. How many of the other Dance Mom kids do people know? There's a couple of them that are famous, to be fair. But what about the other ones? What happened to them? Do you think they thank their parents for it? Probably not. They probably don't, because they don't have survivorship bias, do they? One thing that worked out for us is that there is actually no line. Okay, that's good when you're working with children. That's so cool. That's such a cool thing to say, Jojo Siwa. There's no, this is when we're working and this is when you're my mum. Okay, that must be psychologically damaging to a child. That's not a good thing. Oh, I can't tell the difference between her being my mum and her being my manager. She's a mamager. According to one of the sources close to the production, it was not a good day on set unless you made a kid cry. What? She heard a comment like that from a producer? That's crazy. When asked whether any producers made such a comment, a representative for the production company said, not to my knowledge. It's counter to everything Jojo Siwa stands for. Okay. Jojo Siwa's mom was berating a contestant with hypotonia, a disorder that causes low muscle tone, by mocking her for being unable to move her arms and legs. What is this show? She also allegedly made fun of her speech at one point, mimicking her. That's insane. None of these made it to air. Of course they didn't. Of course they didn't. Things got significantly worse, in all caps, once production for the show ended in the summer. What? The winners, including Leah, transitioned to being a full-time music act. The Sandersons allege, and another source close to the situation confirms, they largely had to pay out of pocket for food and transportation, often without being reimbursed. Wow, that's terrible for them, and they weren't paid for any of this work they did? Okay, so they just broke California child labor laws. That's unreal. They didn't even get a minimum hourly wage because it's YouTube, so Jojo Siwa can just get away with not paying people. That's crazy. This is insane. This is actually insane. Girls were promised 10 grand upon recording their first album. They only received 4 grand because just had to pay for the Airbnb where they would stay. Jesus Christ. This sounds like stuff that's happened to me. Like, companies going, we owe you this much, but we actually had to pay for this and that, so we can't pay you that. And I'm like, that's not the contract we signed. But okay, no, it's fine. I don't want to complain. I don't want to come across like a dick. I want to carry on working. Pay me, please. Talks about how they would barely do any schoolwork as well here. They only logged in 6.6 hours of class time, which is just like crazy. That's insane. The legal requirement in the state of California is for minors to attend at least 3 hours for every full day they are on set, which is, you know, standard normally if you see videos on like films and stuff, like behind the scenes. Jojo would encourage the girls to compare themselves to each other. So like, yeah, I mean, you saw in the clip that we played of Dance Moms, it very much was like, okay, you want to try and like have rivals and try and be better than them. Like, she was trying to fight the other kids. She was just 8 years old. That's cutthroat, and that is not what kids should be doing. They should be enjoying what they're doing. They should be enjoying dancing and singing. They shouldn't be fighting for their life, okay? So they sent her flowers and stuff when she went to have a surgery, this Leah girl, but she was told to not like do any physical activity for 6 weeks after the surgery, and Jojo Siwa's mum said come back after 3.5 weeks later, and that they had to practice. That's insane to do to a disabled member of your band, to be like, oh yeah, what did the doctor say? We don't care about them. You're coming back anyway. What's Jojo Siwa's mum's thoughts on the vaccine? I want to know. The Siwas really messed up people's lives in ways I don't think they even realise. Those close to the Siwas, such as the set teacher who spoke with Rolling Stone, dispute this. All the intentions are good and positive, she says. We're helping these really, really talented kids and make their dreams come true. Yeah, of course you're going to say that. I mean, this is insane. And then there's a statement here at the bottom that says these allegations are 100% provably false, and this story is created to generate clicks at the expense of the truth. Had actual investigative reporting been done, da, voluminous and irrefutable evidence would tell you all you need to know, da, da, da. Basically saying it didn't happen from Jojo Siwa's team. When you watch these shows, is it really hard to believe that these shows were not this terrible? Because they always are. And when you know where they came from and you've seen Jojo Siwa's mum on Dance Mums, it makes you go, okay, well, if you were willing to put your own daughter through that and you guys were so terrible on that show all the time, that's why the show is popular, then what won't you do? You made your kids cry on camera multiple times, and now you're doing it to other kids because you just think, well, it worked the first time, we can make loads of money. And some of the mums will agree with that, but some of them don't realize that they're getting into that. And they shouldn't be getting into that because that is illegal and it's abusive. I can't imagine how some of these kids are going to turn out. It's going to be insane to watch. Well, that's it for this video. The Jojo Siwa situation is crazy. Like, this is one of the most insane things I've ever read, and the show itself just comes across as really jarring and weird. Even the YouTube channel and the podcast, it's so odd. I really hope that people stop making stuff like this, and shows like this. There's more laws in place, and especially with YouTube channels, to stop kids from being taken advantage of by people all the time for work, because it is insane. And it just seems to go under the radar because it's YouTube, and it shouldn't. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, I'd appreciate that if you wanted to, and I'll see you guys in a new video very soon. Hey, I'm gonna go speak to my manager. Bye.